Jeremy Wagner is the founder of Impact Social, and he is this week's guest for our podcast. He helps businesses become famous and profitable through online strategy, automation, and viral content. He's helped over 1,100 plus entrepreneurs and brands grow, many to millions of followers. After leaving a stable job to support his brother's music career, which led to over 300 million streams, Jeremy built a system now across industries, from startups to pro athletes, to turn attention into scalable revenue. With that, welcome, Jeremy.
Why, thank you very much, Ollie. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, and for all you guys who are here listening, we this is our take two because technology's fun. So welcome, give a warm welcome to Mission Impossible. That's Jeremy's nickname, and you're about to find out why. Because Jeremy, tell everybody what your secret sauce is and how you're an inspirational leader.
I believe my secret sauce is just believing for the impossible. I don't know when to stop believing. That's probably why we're still having this Zoom call after all the technical issues we had. It is my fault. Just it's my yeah, I'm the reason. But all that being said, I've just believed for the impossible my whole life, really. I believed that impossible things could happen. And I did whatever it took. So when I got the opportunity to go all in after my 19-year-old brother's music career, quit my job, and what an opportunity, have no income, to try to make him famous for his music, I did it because I believed it was possible. I believed in him. And our first video got over 100,000 views. And from there, we had to work a little at it. But eventually, we literally made him famous. And so inspiration to me just looks like setting the example by being the one to go first, being the one to be bold, and then inviting others and telling them, if I can do it, you can do it too. And that's what my whole life, my whole business has been built around. So
I
that's my
love
answer for
that.
that.
I'm going to take you on a side tangent here. I had this very existential conversation with somebody recently, and they were like, "So you're famous, Holly?" And I was like, "No." So, Jeremy, since you're the expert, you're the Mission Impossible dude, and you make people famous, what makes somebody famous? Like, what's the definition of famous?
That is a great question. I've been meaning for the last 10 years to Google it and I haven't gotten to it.
I
I
did
will
Google
someday.
it. I did
What did
Google
it
it.
say?
It says that you're well known, you have something specific that you're well known for, and that people recognize your body of work.
I love it. Yeah, that is the very smart person's version of it. I guess my bro version would just be, you've heard of them, and if you've heard of them, it's because they're doing something good. And if there's a renown to it, then that is powerful. And that's what I've seen with a lot of people I've worked with, is they've had that renown as we work with them, and it's powerful to have a big following. Like Holly, you are somewhat famous. You play it down, but we know the truth. We know that you are sizzling out there on social media and you're making a stir, and you go to your LinkedIn and it's got all the interviews you've had on TV. We know something's cooking right there. We know it.
You're making me blush, Jeremy. No, it's just funny. Like I was reading the definition and having like a conversation philosophically with somebody, and like they were like, "You're famous." Like I'm like, "No, I'm not." And they're like, "You've done a TED Talk. You have a best-selling book. Like you have a
Hmm.
business. You have 25,000 followers on LinkedIn." I'm like, "Yeah, but does that make you famous?" So it's just like a really interesting conversation. They're like, "Well, you go places and people know you," and I'm like, "That's true." So.
Hmm.
Yes. So y'all, if you want to be famous, you need to chat with Jeremy. He's got some cool things to show you. So, since we're on Inspiration Contagion, Jeremy, tell us, what does inspiration mean to you?
Inspiration is all about, it's like a fire. It's like getting that flame. And I see it as, if I can just be a little candle, a little candle can light a whole forest on fire. And so my dream has always been that I could just be just little me. I can only have so much I accomplish, so many people I can impact, so many people I can reach, but I can inspire. I can take that little flame and I can light an idea in someone's heart, and it can start to spread to others, and it can catch all over the place. And that's what it is with what we do. Because creating content, it's just about visually depicting what you're all about, visually depicting a message. And we really are lifting up messengers and helping them carry that message out to the world in a way that people can see, feel, experience. And my goal's always been that people would feel what the message has to say, and that it would go deep into their soul and impact them for good. So that's what I'm after. That's how I spend my time, is how do we make people feel, cry, laugh, whatever it is, we pick the emotion. We're going to bring it with the message.
I love it. I love the fire too. So, for our podcast, my friend Tanner Hunt, who's an amazing musician, she's going to be famous, y'all. Like you heard it here first. Tanner Hunt. She has
Love
her
it.
first Spotify released EP coming up here. But she designed stickers too, and she designed this for our podcast. And you can see it's like a flame and it
Ooh,
says
yeah.
inspire and it's like cool holographic fancy. It has a QR code on it so you can like follow the podcast and be with the cool kids. But yeah, like I love the fire symmetry, like for the book as well as for the podcast. It's about being the light in the world and spreading the fire
Mm,
in positive ways instead of fear and darkness. So I resonate with
wow.
that, Jeremy.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Let's go. Bring the light.
All right, let's pivot a little bit to peak performance. How do you define peak performance, and how did you arrive at this, especially when going after Mission Impossible?
Man, I think peak performance is just maximizing your what little you have because we have so many limitations in life. We only have so much energy. We only have so much time. We only have so much that we can really focus on. And I am in the oddest way envious of women that can multitask because I'm one of those dudes. I can't do more than one thing at a time. So I try, but I just fall apart. I think they say you become, this is true of me, I become 20 or 50 IQ points dumber every time I try. So I have a very little amount at which I can just try to focus on something. So it's making the most of the little I have. And just like I said, with me being a little candle, it's that same thing. And my max performance is how do I empower other people? And that's always been my dream. I do that throughout my organization. I find experts and then I figure out what do they care about? How can I help make their dream happen? And I do the same with my clients. And usually when I have a client come to me, they want to make a bigger impact. That's why I created Impact Social. And so, in my opinion, what I've seen is max performance is how do you maximize the little bit you have to empower other people to accomplish that mission? So that's what I go after. It's not about me, it's about empowering other people to accomplish that dream in unison.
Yeah, I love that. And by the way, you guys, it's not just for men. Our brains are not meant to multitask. I am going to
Okay.
repeat that. Multitasking is a myth. It is BS. Stop doing it. You're exhausting your brain. You're not being your best. It is not peak performance. So just
Yeah,
remove it from your itinerary today. Okay. No multitasking. So, like, guess what? You're actually doing that right. Yay. Winning.
good.
You get an A. Now, Jeremy, obviously you said like little time, all the things. What are some of the challenges and obstacles that you have faced along your journey to reaching peak performance in your business?
Oh my gosh.
That's the response we
I
usually get.
Well, most people don't know that my business has crashed and burned 3 times over and that I've had to restart it. So, I mean, challenges were day one, I got attacked by a pit bull and I got bit on the butt. And oh man, it was terrible. I got circled by pit bulls, held up, and then I went. And day one, we had 50 people sign up to our business. It was wild. And I just felt like it was a struggle. Ever since I started, it's been this uphill battle trying to roll a big snowball up a hill, and it keeps getting bigger the further up you go. But I know
Yeah.
if I let go that I'll lose the momentum. And there have been things out of my control that, like a thunder strike, just hit the snowball, like a global change in the world wrecked my business. For instance, I was traveling around the world with an internationally renowned superstar. His name's Anwar Fazal, and he gathers 100,000 to more than 1 million people in person into like one place. Like they can't fit into a stadium. So imagine they have to renovate a large field to fit 1 million people at one time. And then he speaks to them. So he's the guy. He's like one of the most famous people in Pakistan. But I was gathering crowds for him and I was fundraising so we could bring, I think, 2.5 million more people in person into those crowds that year. And I got all the commitments for all the money and I was so excited. And then COVID hit. You can't meet together in person for COVID. So it was just catastrophe after catastrophe like that. And I just decided, you know what? I influence the internet, social media. It's never going to go away. So I guess that's just what I have to focus on. Can't be stopped. So those are my challenges I faced. But I found if you don't give up, you can overcome and you will be amazed by how far you can get.
100%. And actually, they say that We learn the most through our failures, and that most really successful business owners, visionaries, and leaders have many failures under their belt. It's more so how they respond to those failures. They're really lessons. We learn so much from every so-called failure. Like you said, the opportunity. And we can look at a
Hmm.
layoff as like, this happened to me or it happened for me. This is an opportunity for growth. So, same thing when we have these challenges, these setbacks, these obstacles. How can you pivot to how is this for me and what have I learned and push back and come back from it?
Hmm.
Now, I am sure this has a lot to do with how you've designed your culture. So, how have you brought peak performance into the culture of your company today?
That's a great question. I do my best to make people feel at ease. I did get lucky and inherit a team that was already making people famous, which was perfect synergy. They were in need and I was in need of them. And so it's been great. But our team meetings were like having fun creating AI pictures and comparing to see who has the craziest AI picture of some blue elephant ear winged goddess. You just never know what will come out of our meeting times. And we try to make it as fun and encouraging and freeing as possible. I take every chance I can to give an encouragement to my team. And when there are things that we have to course correct or adjust, then I'll tell them, I want to talk through this with you. And I try to ask. I don't demand, I ask. And I found that, they get the point that it's their job to do it. So
Yeah.
they're not going to take it as oh, he's asking me to do this. I can say no. They get it, but I try to let kindness be the culture that we create and openness. And when there are hard conversations that do come up, we take the time to thoughtfully think through what we say. And it's amazing. If you think through what you say, people don't get run over as often. So that's been a good part of our culture. It's just been a matter of how do we bring joy into all that we do and how do we make it a place that people love working at, and they've loved it.
Y'all, this is unscripted. My shirt says
Be kind.
be
Let's
kind.
go.
Like, what? I was like, okay, kindness really great, cool. Serendipity is a beautiful thing, you guys. We're gonna pivot and talk about money and revenue, okay? When have you left money on the table and what did you do to fix it?
That's a good question. I'm thinking about today. I had a guy with 500,000 followers reach out to me and he really wants just me alone. And I'm like, I didn't do this to just work for someone alone. I've done my best when there's money on the table to make a plan, to do my best to think through how do I fix it, and then to go to AI and say, okay, these are my ideas. What's the smartest way to do it? And that's been something very helpful for me is just brain dumping everything I'm thinking into ChatGPT or whatever platform. And I found that that has been helpful. But then I also have counselors that I go to. I've always had a business coach, multiple business coaches. I've always had people that are skilled or further ahead than me that I can talk to, and then figured out how do we overcome this bottleneck, this loss. And it's led to a lot more success than Mr. Little Jeremy could accomplish all on his own. So,
Yeah, we're definitely better and stronger together. Jeremy's one of our collaboration partners. And so what's nice is we have these group calls and we can share like our biggest challenge and discuss it or say, hey, like this is somebody in our trusted network that you should chat with. So yeah, it's really important to have community in business, people that are experts in areas where you are not and don't want to be on your team, but also in collaboration and community for your business. So thanks for sharing that. And then
mhm.
also, yay you for sticking to your guns and like, don't want to do this one-to-one. I created this for a reason and for the lifestyle and vision and values that you have. That's beautiful.
Thank
Jeremy, we're
you.
going to wrap up with two rapid fire questions. Number one, what's the best one piece of advice you would share with others today?
Oh man, believe for the impossible. Don't give up, but be smart about it. There are times where I had to pause on my dreams that were impossible that I pursued, and I've mostly spent my life pursuing other people's impossible dreams. That's kind of my dream is to make people's impossible dreams a reality. But if you're persistent and if you'll continue to take the time, you can see breakthrough. I was stuck for years. About 5 years ago, I was so frustrated. 4 years ago, I was so frustrated because I had had a sexy business and I was no longer technologically capable of doing what I'd done before. And I found that I just was persistent. And in time, as I did research, as I thought through it, the sexy opportunities came back and I was able to do things that I had dreamed of. But they never would have happened unless I did the really unsexy, uncool thing of I'm going to live with less. I'm going to be persistent, and no matter what comes, I am going to make this work. And it has. It's been great. Doubled sales this last month. It was awesome.
Yeah. Y'all, I gotta just double down on this whole sexy comment thing. You guys think systems aren't sexy. You think discipline isn't sexy. They give you freedom and actually allow you to live your dreams. Next time, like if you're looking at that thing that's not sexy, that's how you're gonna get to the sexy solution. So dig into that. Jeremy, last question for you. What's the legacy you wish to leave behind?
Well, I created Impact Social because my heart has always been, how do I create a dramatic impact in people that changes their lives? It started for me with my brother seeing person after person feel hope in the midst of wanting to kill themselves, and person after person commenting on his social media saying, I'm choosing to live. And I, ever since then, have wanted to create an impact of that magnitude, extreme impact where people's whole lives are changed. Generations could be different. And that's what I seek to do with my life. My legacy, I hope, is the legacy of others that experience that level and magnitude of impact. So that's my
I
dream.
love it. Yeah, let's be that fire, that candle that burns bright like a lighthouse for people in a positive way. Beautiful. You guys, if you're interested in learning more about Jeremy or becoming famous and working with Jeremy, we'll have all of the ways you can get in touch with him and his team at Impact Social, and those will be in the show notes, as well as if you're watching this on YouTube, in the notes there as well. If you enjoyed this and you found it valuable, please share it with somebody else, and please subscribe so that we can continue to share light throughout. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thanks, Holly. So appreciated you having me.